The thing you need to understand is that this bike is lighter, stiffer, and more aerodynamic.
The bike offers an unrivaled level of performance across the entire gravel spectrum.
It's a game changer.
We here at GCN have been lucky enough to ride some of the very best bikes available to humanity. The fastest, lightest, most capable machines on the market. But it hasn't stopped us thinking, what would we do differently if we were designing bikes? And recently this idle chat has become an itch we just couldn't scratch. So today, I'm very happy to say that we will no longer just be producing videos on GCN, we're also going to be producing bikes. We've looked at what the future holds and where riding is evolving, and rather than design a really ultralight, super aerodynamic road bike, we've gone Endurallgroad. That's endurance, all-road, gravel and road. How? By combining the very best of everything. We've gone full throttle. As you'll see immediately, this is a very progressive looking bike, and we've built it around suspension. Rather than restrict it to the current 30mm standard, we've gone for 170mm of travel at the front and 165mm of travel at the back. This may seem like overkill to some of you road and gravel riders, but for us, smoother is faster, and this smooths out everything. It's been clear to us for some time that tyre width is only going in one direction. So on this bike, tyre clearance is a big priority. So much so, in fact, that we've designed this bike so you can fit 63.5mm wide tyres in the frame. We're working with Pirelli to make sure that gravel tyres like these ones in this size will be available and be the fastest ones on the market too. And also the super fast P0 race road tyres will be available as an option with this build. One thing we're particularly pleased with is not just tyre width, but also wheel size. And we debated at length as to whether to go for the standard 700C or maybe opt for a smaller 650B wheel size. And in the end, we settled on going for both. So currently at the moment, I've got 700C at the front and 650B at the back. But if you so wish, you could swap the wheels and go for a more aero position, getting low at the front with that 650B smaller wheel right there on the front fork. I'm pleased with the build, but let's head over to Dr. Awlee Bridgewood, who was instrumental in designing the carbon layup of this frame. Let's hear from him on that process now.
The thing you need to understand is that this bike is lighter, stiffer, and more aerodynamic than the previous bike.
Which previous bike?
All of them, all the bikes. Look, we've conducted finite elemental analysis and it backs up our claims. We've employed a revolutionary new carbon fibre that actually contains and is impregnated with helium to make it lighter than anything else before. Also, impregnated into the matrix of the carbon fibre is the strongest substance available to humanity to make it just incredibly stiff.
What's that?
Dried on Weetabix. If you've ever eaten a bowl of Weetabix and then not washed it up immediately and just left it on the side, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. Serendipitous discovery, but this stuff, it's a game changer. It really is the hardest substance available to humanity, and by incorporating it into existing resin and existing composites technology, wow, the results have been astonishing.
Now, I know what you're thinking here. This bike probably looks like Rich Payne from GMBN's nuke-proof Mega 297, and you're probably right, it's no coincidence, because as bike designers hone in on perfection, they are going to end up looking a bit more similar. We've seen it with aero bikes and pro team kits this year, and it's no different for the Endurallgroad. Sorry, you're supposed to see that. Can you just cut. If you've got a specific training session to do, this bike is fantastic because you can just get your head down and ride. You don't need to look at where you're going. You simply focus on your head unit, what effort you need to do, doesn't matter what you ride over. The Endurallgroad just conquers it all, and that is what makes this bike fantastic, and which is why we've designed it for road use. It's going to boost your performance like you've never known it. The good thing about this bike is it can just handle anything that comes into its path, any potholes, any ledges. It takes them in its stride.
The bike offers a near unrivaled level of performance across the entire gravel spectrum. The way the engineers have utilised suspension kinematics to control the placement of the linkages and the pivots so that they know exactly what's happening between the wheels, the frame and the terrain that you're riding across. Quite simply means that you've got a faster bike, one which can handle all sorts of variations in bumps, from the changes in micro gravel grain size through to riding over curbs, steps and probably even small cars. And does it rob you of power? Yeah, probably, but a smoother bike is a faster bike.
Our current manufacturing plans mean that this bike will be available to pre-order with an expected delivery in 2026. However, you will be able to test ride one at the upcoming Global Bike Festival in June. More details about that at globalbikefestival.com, and we have also applied to the UCI to have this bike fully approved, although we are still waiting to hear back.
So Manon, what do you think about the new bike?
Do you want my honest opinion? It seems a little bit It's heavy, it's slow, and it's got the aerodynamics of a bus.